Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking about a very important topic, and that is feather plucking and feather destructive behaviour. I'm going to talk about, is your bird actually plucking or is it just another behaviour? We'll talk about some of the common reasons birds pluck, some of the things we recommend you shouldn't do, and then some common solutions and why it's such a complex issue and difficult to deal with. So let's start off with a definition for plucking, because it's helpful to know what plucking behaviour actually is. And plucking is pulling out feathers from the body forcibly before they are ready to be molted. So generally your bird will start pulling out their feathers. When they're not molting, there'll be an audible popping sound. It may cause damage to the skin. Similarly, feather barbering, which is quite similar in many ways, doesn't really involve pulling out feathers, but it means destroying the feathers and feather destructive behaviour. You'll often see this on wing tips or tail tips, where it's basically very, very strongly preened and there's lots of bits missing from the feather itself. Neither of these behaviours are ideal, and both of them do lead to distress and discomfort for your parrot, so it is best to investigate why they're doing it and try and help prevent it. Now, one thing is really important to remember when you're looking at plucking and barbering is not to confuse it with just molting and preening. A lot of, especially new bird owners, get very confused between the behaviours and start panicking when they see their birds molting and feathers coming out, blood feathers coming in. If your bird is just molting and they're pulling out feathers that are ready, there's no blood on the tip, there's no destruction on the feather, it's perfectly fine, they're probably just molting. If they're just preening and going through their feathers, it's completely normal. So be sure that you're not getting the two behaviours confused. So why do parrots end up plucking? And there are a myriad of reasons for it. I'm going to talk about some of the common reasons and then also why it's such a complex issue. So one of the most common reasons for feather destructive behaviour is stress. If your parrot's stressed or anxious, there's lots going on in the environment, there's not an ideal cage setup, there may be some bullying in the cage, all sorts of causes of stress can lead to plucking behaviour. So it's very important to look at stress as your first port of call. Following from that is veterinary issues, health issues, for example, mites, skin irritations, problems with skin in general. It's worth looking at that too. And then you've got stuff like anxiety and fear, and also diet. Diet can play a major role in plucking. For example, if there's an overabundance of vitamins in certain parrot species, not enough vitamins in others, if the diet is really high in sugars and potential some fats or non-ideal ingredients, like you find in some pellet brands, that can lead to plucking as well. And these are the sort of first areas you need to investigate. Now, this is where it's important to remember, plucking is a very complex issue. There's a lot of different factors to go into it. It requires a lot of investigation. So if your bird is a feather plucker, while the common solutions I'm going to present later on in the video may be helpful, it's really important to investigate thoroughly. And that's something we can help with our business, Best Behaved Birds. We have dealt with plucking personally, and Kipling used to be a plucker and now he does not. And if you need our help, please feel free to check a link in the bio and the description, so we can explore the topic with you if you need more dedicated help. Now, before I go into common solutions which may help with plucking, I wanted to talk about some things you shouldn't do when you have a plucking bird. And the first thing we don't recommend is those anti-plucking sprays. Often they can cause irritations to skin. It's anecdotal if they actually help or not, because the general principle of them is they make an unpleasant taste and sensation on the feathers, so the bird's less likely to pluck. But we find that most of the time they cause more harm than good. So if you can avoid using them, do avoid them. Similarly, bird shampoos, they're not very good either. We'd recommend avoiding them too. Like with the feather sprays, shampoos can actually make feather condition worse and make the problem much worse too. Other things you shouldn't do is ignore it. Plucking does need to be dealt with. It's not just going to go away, and you shouldn't reduce your interactions with your parrot unless there's a major fear issue there. So those are things we recommend you shouldn't do. Now let's talk about some things that you can do to begin helping with the issue. Now with these solutions, I can only offer you a few of them. These are kind of like catch-all ones, but often, as I said a few moments ago, it does need investigating, it does need a lot more digging to find the cause of plucking. Now the very first thing I'd like to recommend if your bird is a plucker is going to see an avian vet. If you can eliminate any health issues or skin irritation issues, that sets you up for much more success, because then you can look at diet, then you can look at stress factors and other things, and it eliminates a whole area of problems. That is your first port of call. If you can go to an avian vet, I'd highly recommend it. If your bird is potentially plucking due to boredom or stress, I can recommend preening toys as well. And when I say preening toy, it's basically like a natural material toy that has loads of little ends and sticks sticking out of it, so they can displace the plucking behaviour or over preening behaviour onto the toy, and we find often helps. Improving a cage environment can also improve things as well, depending on if it's very sparse. That can lead to plucking because they just don't know what to do and they get stressed. So toys in general can help with this issue. Look at your bird's diet in general as well. Look if they're getting enough vitamins or too many vitamins. Look if they're getting loads of stuff with filler ingredients like non-ideal pellets. Look if there's any ways you can improve it by offering more vegetables and healthy bits and pieces, because diet can help lots when it comes to looking at our parrots' general well-being and with plucking. Following on from this, you can use avian teas, which can help as well. It is proven that avian teas have a positive impact on our parrots' health, so it stands to reason they can help with plucking too. If your bird is okay with you training and doing lots of training, hello Chip, it may be worth doing even more training with them just to keep them occupied and entertained and ensure they're getting lots of positive interactions, because that can help with general stress issues and it can help with plucking too. Following on from this, you may want to generally investigate stress factors in your bird's life. Is there loads of loud noises going on outside? Is there another bird that's causing them stress? Are you causing them stress if they're new in the environment? Look at all the stress factors, maybe record your interactions with them, or generally look at what's going on, because most of the time anxiety and stress can be a major issue when it comes to plucking, and when you reduce it, it can help an absolute load. Now, those are some common solutions to plucking that you can try if you can't afford to go to an avian vet, or you can't afford a consultation, etc. Those things you can have a go at. If you do still need help and you do need to talk to us, again, our business is called Best Behaved Birds. Feel free to get in touch. We would love to help, because we would love to see plucking birds regrow their feathers and be much happier. But that brings me to the end of the video. I hope you found it useful, and maybe it cleared up some misconceptions about plucking and also offered some help if you have a plucking bird. But in the meantime, from me and Fish, if he's going to come over, and Chip is on my shoulder, take care and have a really nice day.